What if you could blow out 200 candles on your birthday? No, this isn't a sci-fi movie. It is a question scientists are starting to take seriously, and the answers could completely reshape the way we live, love, learn, and even think about time itself. Imagine this: 2 full centuries to explore the planet, master new skills, start countless new chapters, and witness history unfold with your own eyes. Sounds incredible, right? Well, buckle up. Because if humans could live up to 200 years, our world would look nothing like it does today. First, let's talk about time, because that's the biggest thing that would change. Right now, we live like we're on a deadline. We rush through school, rush into careers, rush into relationships, all because we feel like there isn't enough time. But if you knew you had 200 years ahead of you, that pressure would disappear. You could study until you're 40 without worrying about being too late. You could start your first real career at 50 and still have 100 years left to build something extraordinary. Retirement? That might come around 120. And then maybe you launch a second or third life project. Life would no longer feel like a sprint. It would feel like a marathon with endless possibilities. Education would transform too. No more choosing a career at 18 and sticking to it forever. Instead, people could study deeply, change paths multiple times, and explore subjects they never had time for before. Picture an architect who becomes a surgeon at 90, or a musician who turns into a physicist at 130. Learning would stop being a phase and become a lifelong journey. And with centuries to accumulate knowledge, humanity could reach levels of innovation and creativity we can't even imagine today. Relationships? They'd evolve as well. Today, most of us think about love, friendship, and family on a decades-long timeline. But if life stretched to 200 years, those connections could grow and change more naturally. Some people might experience several major love stories across their lives. Friendships could span entire eras. Family bonds would extend across 6 or 7 generations, and you could actually meet your great-great-great-grandchildren. The meaning of love and loyalty wouldn't disappear. It would deepen, adapt, and expand. Work and the economy would also be unrecognizable. Forget about retiring at 65. That would be just the halfway mark. People could have multiple careers separated by long breaks for travel, study, or personal growth. Companies would benefit from workers with a century of experience. Entire industries would emerge around continuous education, advanced healthcare, leisure for people in their 150s, and even career planning for a life that spans 2 centuries. And because people would stay active for much longer, the global economy could explode with productivity and wisdom on a scale never seen before. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. A world where people live 200 years would face a serious population challenge. If everyone lived twice as long and kept having children, Earth could quickly become overcrowded. Societies might have to rethink family planning, encourage smaller families, or normalize having children at much older ages, maybe at 80 or even 100. Cities would grow larger, infrastructure more complex, and resources would need to be managed more sustainably than ever. Humanity would have to collaborate like never before to make it all work. Of course, none of this would be possible without breakthroughs in science and technology. Extending life to 200 years would likely rely on regenerative medicine, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology. Doctors might repair organs before they fail, rejuvenate tissues, and keep our bodies functioning optimally for decades. Artificial intelligence could constantly monitor our health and design personalized treatments before problems even appear. Instead of focusing on fixing the body, medicine would focus on optimizing it. But the biggest challenges wouldn't be physical. They'd be psychological. Imagine carrying 2 centuries of memories, experiences, emotions, and identities. Our minds would need to adapt to handle that much life. Technologies to store, enhance, or even organize memory might become standard. Our sense of self could evolve dramatically as we go through multiple versions of who we are. That famous midlife crisis? It might show up at 90 or 150. Reinvention would become a natural part of life, not once, but many times. Culture and history would gain new meaning too. Instead of reading about past events, people could live through them. You could witness the rise and fall of nations, the birth of new technologies, and the evolution of entire civilizations. all firsthand, elders wouldn't just be respected. They'd be living archives of centuries of knowledge, teaching lessons no book could ever capture. Humanity would develop a far deeper sense of continuity and perspective. And perhaps the most profound change of all, our sense of purpose. With 200 years on the clock, life would no longer feel like a race against time. Goals could be bigger, dreams more ambitious. You might dedicate 50 years to solving a global problem, 30 years to exploring the planet, or even a century to mastering a single art. Life would shift from being about how fast we achieve things to how deeply we experience them. So, let's pause here for a second. If you knew you had 2 full centuries ahead of you, what would you do differently starting today? Would you chase the same goals? Would you take bigger risks? Would you live with less fear? Tell me in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to see how your priorities would change. What's clear is this: the science of longevity is advancing fast. Maybe we won't see 200-year lifespans tomorrow, but every year we're getting closer. And when that day comes, humanity won't just live longer. It will live smarter, deeper, and wider. If this made you think about your future in a new way, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps more people discover it. And if you want to keep exploring bold what-if scenarios like this one, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. After all, the future might be closer than you think.